All right, questions for Merritt?
Merritt, we'll start the hard question first. How has life changed now that you're a dog mom?
So much. No, she's actually great. For her to be as young as she is, she's actually a really good puppy. And I will say it's getting me outside more, which is a good thing. And just being on a schedule, because I don't have classes really. My class is online, and so it gets me up and gets me going in the morning. But I love her. She's cute.
How old is she?
She's 10 weeks.
What's the hardest part about it?
I can't just hang out. I have someone to go home and take care of, I have to go let her out or, that sort of stuff. You don't really think about it as much when you're a college kid and you don't have anyone at home to worry about. So it's good. It's good prep for when I'm a real mom.
What's to you is the biggest challenge about playing a back-to-back match?
Well, it's making that mental switch. Sometimes it's because teams play so differently, and being able to switch from, okay, maybe we scouted this team 3 days ago. How do we go back to that and what we trained and what we worked on? Just because teams are very different, especially in the Big Ten, there's a big variety of style of play and things like that. I would say that's really challenging. And then also obviously the recovery aspect of it, of, okay, you might go 5 sets that night and then you have to wake up and play a 2:30 game the next day, and the body and physical aspect of it for sure.
Imagine being at home, though, helps with that.
Yes. I mean, sleeping in your own bed, you can't beat that. And obviously it's it's just a little more freeing to be at home, be in your own space. I mean, I'm sure everyone can relate to that, rather than going to a hotel room that you've been in for an hour. So I'd say that piece is huge, just being able to sleep in our own beds, go back to our own apartments.
John credited you and Lexi for having the team ready to play on Sunday. Sunday afternoon games. What are some of the things that captains do to make sure a team is ready for each match?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, we just have to come in and make sure everyone's not taking it lightly, no matter who we're playing, or kind of thinking oh, well, we have the whole afternoon off or things like that. A lot of times it's different just because you don't have a serve and pass that morning if you have an early game, which is kind of normally where you get into rhythm for a game day. And so that's normally the biggest adjustment, is just, okay, we come in, we watch film, we eat, and we're getting ready for the match. So it's just a little bit of an earlier wake up call and less prep time. And so just making sure that we're coming in and everyone's locked in from the moment that they step in is really our focus. But I mean, I kind of gave Coach a hard time because he credited Lexi and I was like, Coach, we didn't really have to do anything. Everyone came locked in. This team's so good about that honestly we just show up how we always show up, and everyone else does the same.
To go back, not to go back, but you have a lot on your plate. I mean, being the captain your senior year too. I mean, why get a dog during the season? I mean,
why not?
Why?
No, I think, like I said, I have a pretty light class load. And so also it's kind of, yes, it's something else that I have to take care of, but it's also a puppy. So it's also filling up my own bucket in a different way. And so I don't know, it's fun. And it's another challenge. What's one more thing,
Everyone gets to come visit you.
Yes. Everyone gets to meet her, and we play outside, and I walked her from our apartments over here, and I was contrasting, and Kelly and Sky were outside playing with her. It's truly 14 girls plus some of the staff raising her. So it's really neat.
Merritt, John said that feels like you're getting close to being back at that first team All-American level from last year. How would you assess your play right now?
Yeah, I would say definitely getting back there. Bergen and I are really finding our connection and our groove, and I don't know, just kind of, it feels like me again, and so it's pretty exciting. But I would say just, honestly, not taking it so seriously. It's so easy. I'll say it this way, volleyball's a game of mistakes. And so for us girls, it's so easy to be so hard on ourselves and so stat-based, because you only score when you make an error. So it's very easy to get caught up in all of that. And so I would say, just being myself day in and day out, it's just a sport. And so for me, I've kind of taken that route this year of how can I help others? How can I be a great teammate? And ultimately, my play is going to fall into place when it needs to. And so that's just kind of what I've been trusting here recently.
So you guys pride yourself on your offensive balance. Purdue kind of not quite like that? They're really pin heavy. What's it
Yeah.
like going up against an offense where they're funneling the ball to two players in particular so much?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's exciting as a right side. It's exciting in that area. But, I mean, obviously they're a great team, and those two girls are stud of athletes, and they're great volleyball players. And so it's going to be challenging, but it also allows us to adjust our defense in a way that hopefully will match them up really, really well. And so, I mean, I'm excited. I think the game plan that we have going into it is going to work really well, or at least if we execute and do what we're supposed to do, it'll be really good, and it'll give us a really nice position, and it'll make it a really good matchup. But, I mean, like I said, they're great volleyball players, and they can take over a match at any point in time, and we've seen that over and over. And so you have to give a lot of credit to them as well, because they are great volleyball players holding a very, very big role for their team and a big load. So we have to make sure that we come ready, because we know that they're going to.
During this offseason, you guys talked a lot about like strengthening your culture
Mhm.
here. How have you seen that transition to the season?
Yeah. I want to use that to give a really big shout out to Harper. I think that was going to be a make it or break it moment for us, and how she was going to respond. And she has been absolutely amazing. Like, I was blown away with the response that she's had, and she's truly like looked herself in the mirror and figured out ways to be a better teammate and a better person and just be a leader. And she's kind of stepping into that, and it's really, really cool to see as a senior who I'm wrapping up my eligibility here. And so it's really cool to see her start stepping into that. And I mean, I'm so proud of her, and it's shocked me just how much growth that she has made. And so I think for us, that's been huge. But also, I mean, we talk about all the time just relationships and continuing to build that on and off the court. Also bringing in Layla and Taylor and kind of adopting them into the family as well. But I mean, it's a team effort, but I definitely want to give Harper a shout out for all the work she's done too.
You mentioned kind of the blocking strength. I mean, you had 7 blocks against Illinois against a team that also has very dominant left side. So can you get in the zone blocking when just you're reading what the other team is doing and kind of you're anticipating what's coming at you?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and we're obviously pretty prepared going into matches, but it is different than we don't have those players in our gym, so it's obviously going to be a little bit different. And so sometimes at the beginning of matches, it can be a little bit frustrating, because it's like, oh, like this is not what we saw in practice or whatever. It's never going to be perfect. But as the match goes on, you definitely get a feel for them, and you get a feel for the tempo. Sometimes tempo's different, or sometimes they change things coming into our match. And so it's just kind of being able to adapt on the fly. And I think the Illinois match was a great example of that, because I didn't start blocking great at all. I'll be the first to say it, and then kind of finished really strong. And so that's definitely what will need to happen on Friday. But it's definitely a groove and a feel thing once you've kind of seen them and you've blocked them a few times, for sure.
Final questions? No? Okay.
Thank you.